All right, tell you what, we're going to go ahead and start with the ones across first. So the first one, it says C graph 1. Well, we want to come up with the equation. So we need to know two things. Well, in the first one, it's pretty easy because your y-intercept, or where it crosses the y-axis, is 4. Now, it's a little hard to see on here, but you have your sheet of paper in front of you where you can see it a little bit more easily. And then we need to know the slope. Slope is rise over run. So it looks like my rise, there's 2, 3, 4. And my run, I'm sorry, it's going to the left, -3. And I'm putting a negative because it's going to the left. So my slope is rise over run. So now I know my slope and my intercept. I can just write it in the form of y equals mx plus b. So -4/3 x plus 4. And when we put it into the graph over here, not really graph, but when we put it into the spot over here, I'm going to put each thing in one space. So the negative has a space, the 4 has a space, the slash mark has a space for the fraction bar, the 3 has a space, and so forth. So we went ahead and we've got that one done. Let's go ahead and do 5 across. The slope is -1/4 and the y-intercept is -4. Same type of problem, y equals mx plus b. So my m is -1/4. My b is -4. So you would just write y equals -1/4 x minus 4. So when I do that, that is what it will look like. All right, so let's go ahead and do 6 across. And I'm going to go ahead and erase what I've already done and do my work right here just so that you can see it a little bit more easily. On 6 across, parallel to y equals -2x plus 3 and pass it through that point. Well, if it's parallel, it has the same slope. So my slope is going to be -2. I'm going to use my form, point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. And here's my x sub 1, my y sub 1. I'm going to plug everything in. So y minus 1 equals -2 times x minus -3. Minus -3 really means plus 3. So then I'm going to go ahead and simplify. Y minus 1 equals -2x minus 6. Add 1 to both sides. And I'm going to get y equals -2x minus 5. So that was number 6 across. All right, number 7. 7 has a slope of 0 and a y-intercept of -3. Well, we don't really write that 0x, so it's just going to be y equals -3. 0 times x is 0. 0 minus 3 is -3. And that makes sense that it would be a horizontal line. And that was number 7 across. All right. I'm going to go ahead and erase what I have just so that I can get a little bit more room. 8 across. Parallel to y equals x plus 5. So if it is parallel, it has the same slope. And I know that says y equals x. Hopefully everybody knows that if you just have an x, it's understood that you have one of them, so your coefficient is 1. And it passes through the point 3, 2. Again, that's going to be my x sub 1, my y sub 1. So y minus 2 equals 1, x minus 3. Distribute. Y minus 2 equals x minus 3. Add 2 to both sides. Y is going to equal x minus 1. And that is number 8 across. And number 9 across. Perpendicular. Well, if it is perpendicular, you're going to have to take the opposite reciprocal. So right now my slope is 3. My perpendicular slope is going to be negative, because I need to change the sign, and the reciprocal of 3 is 1 over 3. And it's passing through 0, 2. You know what? This problem suddenly got easier because that first number is 0. That means my second number is my y-intercept. So that's going to save me a lot of work right there. If that first number is 0, your second number is your y-intercept. So b equals, oops, I forgot my m right there. B equals 2. Y equals -1 third x plus 2. All right, so we've got all of our across. Let's go ahead and start working on the down. So the first one, it passes through that point of -3, 3 with a slope of -4 thirds. So y minus your y coordinate equals your slope x minus -3. We're going to distribute y minus 3 equals -4 thirds x minus 4. -4 thirds, 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 3 is 4. Add 3 to both sides. And you get y equals -4 thirds x minus 1. And that was number 1 down right here. Yeah, and I think it's sometimes a little harder to read. Y equals -4 thirds x minus 1. All right, so we got 1 down. Let's go ahead and do 2. 2, they're giving it to us in function notation. And remember, that is just a fancy way of giving us an ordered pair. When the input is 1, the output is -2. Your input is your x coordinate, your output is your y coordinate. 2, 1 is my other ordered pair. First thing we need to do is find our slope. So, difference of your y's, 1 minus -2, over the difference of your x's, 2 minus 1. And that's going to give me 3. Choose a point. I'm going to choose this one because there's no negatives there. Y minus your y coordinate equals your slope, x minus 2. All right, distribute. Y minus 1 equals 3x minus 6. Add 1. And you get y equals 3x minus 5. And that was right there. Let's go ahead now and do number 3 down. Perpendicular. So my slope is 1. That means my perpendicular slope is going to be the, oops, forgot my m again. My perpendicular slope is going to be the opposite sign, and the reciprocal of 1 is just 1. And it passes through 3, 2. So y minus 2 equals -1 times x minus 3. I'm going to distribute that -1, y minus 2, equals -1x, and I'm just going to write -x, plus 3, add 2 to both sides, and I get y equals -x plus 5. All right, let's see, our next one is going to be number 4 down. It goes through the point 2, 9, and 0, -3. Well, life is easy on this one because that first number is 0, so that means our y-intercept is -3. Remember, if that first number is 0, your second number is your y-intercept. I need to know my slope, though, so the difference of my y's, so -3 minus 9 over 0 minus 2, we get -12 over -2, which is 6. Y equals 6x minus 3. And that was number 4 down. All right. I'm going to go ahead and erase my work so I can keep on using that space. Let's look at number 5. It passes through the point 4, 2 with a slope of 3. So they're giving us a point and a slope. Y equals, I'm sorry, not y equals, y minus my y coordinate equals 3x minus 4. Let's go ahead and distribute. y minus 2 equals 3x minus 12. Add 2 to both sides. Y equals 3x minus 10. And that was number 5 down. All right. On number 6 down, it says see graph number 2. Well, my y-intercept is 3. Oops, let's hit pause for a second. So my y-intercept is 3. My slope is I'm rising 3, running 2, and they're both positive. So my slope is 3 over 2, which is going to make this y equals 3 over 2 x plus 3. All right, one more, which is going to be 9 down. On 9 down, they're giving us 2 points. -3, 0, and 0, -8. Again, they're giving us a y-intercept because our first number is 0. That means my y-intercept is -8. Find your slope. -8 minus 0 over 0 minus -3. And that's going to give me -8 thirds. So my equation will be y equals -8 thirds x minus 8. And there we go. There is a backside to this. And I'm going to do a separate video for these 3 problems.